Portal 6-3. We need your help.
Star Trek Resurgence is the perfect marriage of Star Trek with Telltale Games style gameplay and interactive narrative. It is the debut title from Dramatic Labs, which was founded by Kevin Bruner, who had previously actually been the co-founder and CEO of Telltale, who serves as a CEO and president of the new company. It also has 20 former Telltale staff, so it is not surprising that this game has the core DNA of what makes Telltale Games great. It captures the feeling of Star Trek perfectly. Amazing worlds, great characters and writing, and of course, tough choices. This game completely took me by surprise. I obviously saw this announced and promoted and advertised a few months ago, and when watching the trailer, I was like, okay, sure, it looks fine. It looks like a Telltale game. It looks like it might be fun, but I don't know, the trailer didn't really sell me on it. It didn't really sell me on the story. The animations looked a little janky, so when I first saw this game, I thought, okay, it's probably going to be maybe a 5 out of 10. Oh my god, was I wrong. This game took me by complete surprise. It is definitely going to be a sleeper hit of 2023, and for sure you should not sleep on this game. You might not know this, but I'm a huge Trekkie. Probably my two favorite Star Trek TV series are Star Trek The Next Generation, that was my first introduction to Star Trek, and Star Trek Voyager, which both series I absolutely love. So this is right up my street. I was really interested in it. And actually, Star Trek Resurgence does actually follow on from the Star Trek lore. It is set a few years after the events of Star Trek Nemesis. This, of course, was the final movie in the Next Generation films. It follows the crew of the USS Resolute, and the writing in this game is so good. The characters, the relationships between them, the pacing of the story is absolutely fantastic. It really captures the magic of Star Trek perfectly, and I loved every moment of it. I didn't think I found a moment in this game where I was bored or not intrigued or not interested in the characters. The writing is definitely the strength of this game. For fans of Star Trek, they will be very happy to know that there are also many references to Next Generation particularly, and its lore and some of the events in the TV series, and there are even the appearance of some very familiar, very beloved characters. In terms of the gameplay, it's really fun. It is your typical Telltale Games style-esque gameplay, so there are a fair few quick time events. The button prompts and the controls are pretty simple. It is usually a mixture of sort of the right stick or the left stick combined with left trigger or right trigger, but the things that you are doing in the game are really fun. You really get to see what it feels like to be a member of a starship. You get to do some incredible things like piloting your own shuttle, which was really awesome. You're even, get to experience some phaser fights. You get to experience what it's like to use a tricorder, to use a transporter pad. There's lots of puzzle solving with your tricorder, and there are lots of just different things, but the game does a very good job of mixing and matching the different things that you're doing, so that the gameplay never actually feels dull or repetitive. Sometimes I will say the tricorder puzzle solving missions could be a little bit difficult because you would be just scanning for things to find, puzzles that you have to find, and you have to find them all before obviously it would unlock the reveal and obviously the next part of the story. So those were sometimes a little bit fiddly, but generally I can forgive them because they were really fun. Probably my favorite things were definitely piloting the shuttle, which was really awesome, and then even some of the phaser fights were really enjoyable and were really good. And if you miss some of those quick time prompts, there can be consequences, let's just say that, but they are pretty forgiving in terms of how long you have to do these quick time prompts and quick time events. So the gameplay was pretty fun. It's pretty bog standard, but the best part of this game 100% is the story. The story is so well done. It is so well written and brilliantly paced. It is split between two main characters. So you have Jara Rydek, an accomplished academy graduate who basically has been brought in to become the ship's new first officer, and Carter Diaz, an adventure-seeking petty officer working in the lower decks in engineering, a grunt, so to speak, doing a lot of the manual work and repairs and things like that. It was such a clever decision to tell the story through the eyes of two completely different characters, because that gives you an insight into the day-to-day running of a ship. With Jara, you definitely get to experience a different style of game. Of course, as the first officer, she has a lot of responsibility, a lot of very, very tough decisions to make, a lot of politics involved, characters to talk to and to interact. There's even diplomacy as part of that. You get sent on a mission to basically negotiate a peace talks between two alien species that are fighting over the mining rights to dilithium. Very Star Trek in its setting, but then the story just goes off in a completely interesting direction that you really can't see coming, and it's very well done. It's very well written. But yeah, so you get to experience what it is like to command on the bridge and to make those life and death decisions. But then with Carter, you get to see what the consequences and effects of those decisions can be. So there's a really cool moment in the game early on where Carter is out on the outer hull of the ship making repairs, and there's a massive ion storm approaching, and Jara has to make a certain decision based on advice that she's given by other officers on the bridge, and depending on your choice, it can have life or death consequences to Carter and to the crew. So it's really interesting to see how those dynamics play, and then also what Carter does and how he interacts and decisions that he makes can also have consequences as to the choices available to Jara. So the writing was very cleverly told. Both characters are so well written, so well voice acted. They're extremely likable. And then obviously even the side caster characters around them are very well written, have depth, have character, have personality, have backstories, and do really respond and react to your decisions in both a favorable and not favorable light. Just like previous Telltale games, there is a screen where you can actually see the effects and consequences of your actions and how those characters feel about that. So it's very well done in terms of how the game is written, and it's incredibly intricate in terms of some of the choices that you are having to make. I beat the game in about 10 hours, give or take, but this game has plenty of replay value to it because there are so many choices that you can make throughout the game. So there are so many variations on characters that could be alive, characters that might like or dislike you, the way in which the story may well progress. There are also multiple endings, I hear, so there's plenty of replay value here for the game. It is actually available across multiple platforms, so it is available on consoles, specifically on the Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It retails at £34.99 British pounds on those consoles, and the game is also available on PC exclusively on the Epic Games Store, and they are currently retailing it at £31.99 British pounds on there. But Epic have a pretty good deal at the moment. There is a 25% off coupon that you can take advantage of, and I did that when buying this game, and I think the game cost me like £22, £23, which is a steal for the quality of this game. If you are a fan of Telltale, if you are a Trekkie like me, if you're looking for just a really good kind of linear, well-told story with great characters, some tough choices, and you like that RPG nature of making those choices and having those consequences, I really do think that Star Trek Resurgence is a game that you should check out. And I definitely would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I cannot recommend Star Trek Resurgence enough. I was pleasantly surprised by just how amazing this game is. And I do think that the game hasn't garnered the attention that maybe it should have done or it should have deserved, especially as this is one of the first kind of Telltale style games from that team. Those are my thoughts on Star Trek Resurgence. This is very much off the cuff, my genuine thoughts and feelings having completed the game last night. I wanted to get this out there quickly because I don't think many people know about this game or have heard of this game, and I wanted to talk about it and share my thoughts on it and why I loved it so much. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you have any questions about the game, whether it's the gameplay or anything, please do ask those in the comment section below as well. If you did enjoy this video or these styles of videos, please do send some feedback. Let me know what you think. Do remember to hit the like button, of course, as always. And of course, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button and you do ping that notification bell so you do get updates from when I upload new content, because we know YouTube is pretty shit with that at the moment. So it does make a huge difference to me if you do make sure that notification bell is rung and do check the channel now and again for any new content coming out. But as always, any way that you can show your support is massively appreciated. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. And as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys. I should go.